Hey everyone, thank you for coming to episode 1 of Chimera's Tree of Trust. As I've recently been informed, it's not really a tree of trust if like 500 people know about it, but you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna go with it. So first guest of the show is gonna be Charlie from Grey Rider Reptiles. How we doing today, Charlie?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Super excited. So we're gonna try and do this mildly organized, unlike late to the mic, and we're gonna do like 10 minutes or so, talk about your reptiles, talk about what you're doing in the hobby, the stuff that no one really cares about, what we're supposed to talk about,
Mhm.
and then after that, we'll talk about what you do outside of the snakes and the stuff that's actually really, really interesting. So man, tell me let's a little bit. What do you got species wise?
Species is ball pythons, and I have one super dwarf retic,
Okay.
and I have a leopard gecko that I won at an auction that I really didn't want, but I now have.
Was this a charity auction or like a
Yeah,
BSR auction? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But
So what is the plan with the leopard gecko though? Is it just it's
I guess
just
it's a pretty fancy one. It's a clown
oh,
leopard gecko,
I
and
don't know what that means.
I mean
Okay.
neither, but
Okay.
it's a male, so maybe I'll get a female and breed it. We'll see.
Okay.
Right
Okay.
now, it's in my son's bedroom, stinking it up when it shits.
Perfect.
But, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Well, do you really need other species other than ball pythons? I mean, let's
Nah, not really. I
yeah.
mean, I like my retic. He's pretty sweet, but you know,
The balls are good enough.
yeah.
I love it, man. So aside from breeding snakes, you do you're starting to do something kind of fun that's helping the hobby out. You want to talk a little bit about that?
What's that?
Maybe some testing of some sort?
Oh
No?
yeah, genetic testing. Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, just some genetic testing.
Yeah, it's a little thing I got going on that
Yeah.
it's keeping me busy.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say probably a year and a half ago now. I started looking into it after I saw Dr. Hannah Seidel on a podcast, and
Okay.
I'm obviously no scientist, but I like to try to figure things out. And I have ball pythons, and I was like, wow, that'd be cool if I could do that at home for myself. And I was like, that's going to be way out of my league. But I started researching it, and I kind of fell in the rabbit hole of YouTube and Google, and I was like, I think I might be able to do this. So spoke to a lot of people, and then I wound up buying all the equipment. Probably 6 months of screwing up until I actually got it right. A lot of reagents flushed down the toilet,
Yeah.
and the shipping on those isn't always fun. So, yeah, but there was definitely times in the beginning where I was like, what am I doing? I can't do this. Why did I waste all of this money? And then it finally clicked, and it started working, and I started getting better and better and better. And I was just testing my snakes and a couple friends' snakes, and then they were like, you got to. That's when RGI went live.
Okay.
We do this. I'm like, shit, I didn't even know who that was. I'm like, I thought I was the only idiot that was going to try to do this. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll say I do it too.
Nice.
So, yeah, then it just started from there and kind of snowballed.
So how big is your collection then?
Somebody just ate. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was good.
So I have about probably 30 something holdbacks / adults snakes, and then about 16, probably about 20 something hatchlings right now.
So
But
it wasn't a real big collection to be like, oh, I need to learn this whole new technology and skill set.
no.
So
That's what I do though. That's
okay, I was about to say, so is that like normal for you where you're like, you know
yeah.
what? I don't need this,
I
but
have
I'm gonna do
I
it.
have a lift in my garage. I installed a lift for a car in my garage because I had one sports car that I worked on, and I was like, I need to have a professional lift in my garage. So I installed one in there. Like everything I do just is completely unnecessary. So
I mean, that's not a bad thing though, right? I mean, this thing.
that was all fine and good before I had a kid. It was just me and my
Oh,
wife, two
yeah,
incomes, just us, and
yeah.
I could blow money on stupid stuff. But now my hobbies have to give me some type of return, if not just pay for themselves to keep my wife happy.
That is the important part here, right?
Yes, right. So I picked up a snake today, and last night I was like, hey, I'm going to be running home in the middle of the work to drop a snake off, which I'm an idiot. I forgot she was going to be away today, so I didn't even have to tell her. I
Oh,
couldn't
no.
have said anything. And she's like, you got another snake? I said, I've been selling all these snakes. I'm just trading up,
Yeah.
Okay. So just you got to use your words, very, very well.
I like that. You're like, it's not real money, it's snake money. Okay.
Right.
I sold the snakes so I could buy more snakes.
Right.
That's how this game is played.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's amazing. So what are the goals then with the genetic testing at this point then?
So right now I gonna try to keep getting more and more genes to test.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just me, and I do everything, here, and I have nobody, working with me or helping me. And I have a full-time job and a kid. So I'm trying to streamline the process now for testing so that I can have more free time to work on coming up with the new genes and the new tests. But yeah, I definitely want to, make it into something big.
Yeah. So then is the goal to expand the genetic testing and kind of take up more of your time than the ball python breeding, or are you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. When I built this room that I'm in now for ball pythons, I'm sure like everybody says, it's like, I'm only going to have a few.
Sure.
So I never thought I would have 50 even. I said, maybe you'll keep it at, I always said 20
Okay.
snakes just to, make stuff that I want to make. And obviously then you dive into it and you can't keep just 20. So right now I'm about 30, 35, something like that. So I want to keep it manageable to the point where I don't have to spend a ton of time in here. Like I shipped 3 boxes off today, and I'm like, I couldn't imagine somebody has to ship 10, 20 a week. Like this sucks.
It's
I had 3 boxes totaling 4 snakes, and I was like, this is horrible.
it can be a chore, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, no, I really like the genetic testing, and I really like the learning, and but I also love the snakes. So I want to keep, definitely have time for the snakes and to get some cool projects going and everything like that. But business wise, we'll go more towards the testing. Hobby wise, some business if possible, the snakes. I'm not going to bank on making a huge income from the snakes.
yeah, no. So I know this, but maybe the people who aren't, you're not, as you kind of said earlier, you're not a scientist at all.
No.
Have no science background whatsoever, right?
If you consider computer scientists a scientist, then
I mean, it is a
I
scientist.
have a bachelor's of science in computer science.
Okay, so that is a thing. But it's not lab sciences per se.
A computer lab.
You know what? I'm done. I keep losing. Fair
You just
enough.
have to call me Dr. Williams. Thank you.
That's fine. I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah. So no, I've taken bio in high school, bio in college, bio lab in college, and forensic science lab in college, and that's the most lab work I've ever had.
So what was it like going down that rabbit hole, right? Because so like Ben and I, we went to school for this. We went to grad school. We spent decades at this point, and so like when we saw the first paper, we're like, oh yeah, this makes sense, and it's about time. Like,
oh no, none of it made sense. Like I read the first paper from Hannah Seidel, like
yeah,
I'm like, so I'm Googling what's in the paper because I have no idea. Then Googling what I'm Googling, so it definitely took a long, long time to understand what any of the stuff meant in those papers. And I still don't know everything that's in those papers. There's still stuff in there that when I go back over them, I'm like, I'll have to ask you or ask somebody else.
Yeah.
Google it again. Like, what really does this mean? But actually, the first time I started researching, I was like, man, this is easy. People actually go to school to be a doctor to do this. I was like, they're the suckers.
For sure. It's true. We are.
No. It honestly like gave me a whole new respect for actual scientists that do stuff like this, and just understanding how like a primer works.
Yeah.
It's like it shouldn't be real. Like
it's almost like magic, right?
It's almost one of those things where like kind of like how we're talking now and we can see each other. Like how is our pictures going over lines and coming up somewhere? It's fake. This is all bullshit.
Right.
There's no way this is real. Like physically, how does this work? And the same thing with, when I try to explain to people, like, what do you mean you have to do primers and then PCR? Like, well, I put this one liquid that is made so that it attaches to this little section of the DNA sequence and multiplies it, makes billions of copies of just the little part I want.
I mean, that's a perfect explanation though of PCR. I love that. That's actually perfect.
And people are like, wait, how does it do that? How does a chemical know where to attach? I'm like,
Oh,
that I don't know.
that's the good stuff, my friend. That's the actual magic of bonding forces. Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah. And then just to think about the people that actually care. I could learn. You could learn anything. Like,
Yeah.
I could research and learn. I could be taught to do almost anything. But the people that actually came up with this are the ridiculous, unbelievably smart people. Like, who would ever think to, like, let's try this? Like, I don't know. It's just, it amazes me. And that's what keeps me interested, is that there are people out there that invent, and that the people that first start doing this stuff is really makes it, very interesting, and makes you want to keep digging in and diving more into it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It was when we first connected and you told me like, "Oh yeah, I'm a cop." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" Like I did not see that coming, because most of the people we interact with that start doing the testing and everything else, right? They're maybe not PhDs, but definitely like in the science world doing something. Yeah, exactly. And so it's actually really encouraging, because you hear a lot of people be like, "Oh, I can't do that." And it's like, well, no, it turns out with a little motivation, you can do it, right? And I mean, someone that literally came with no experience whatsoever, a little work ethic goes a long way, it seems.
Yeah, and that's what, it started when I started making my CNC machines, probably about 6 years ago now. Like, I saw like a CNC laser engraver, homemade one, online, and I was like, oh, I could do that. I could so do that. Like, I know how to program. I could do this. And I did it within like a week. I built a CNC machine. And then obviously I just had to go bigger and better from there. So now I have 3 huge different CNC machines, plasma cutter, router, laser, CO2 laser. And then after you do that, and people are like, wait, how did you make that? You're not an engineer. How did you do that? I'm like, I know how to follow instructions. I read the internet. Everything you want, everything you need to know is on the internet right now.
I really appreciate like the just like, I see something and fuck it, I'm just gonna do it mentality. That's fantastic, man.
That's just how I am. Like, and my wife thinks I'm absolutely crazy, but she respects it at the same time. She's like, no, it's kind of nuts that you could do all this crap that you did not go to school for or did not do, I think it's just having that technical brain that is willing to put in the work and fail. Like, a lot of people want me to teach them how to do the genetic testing. And I'm like, I can teach you how to do it in a day.
Yeah.
But when you screw up, you're going to have no idea how it works. Like, it took me almost a year of researching and then trial and error to figure this out. Like, if I just teach you how to do it in one shot, that's not going to do you any good.
Yeah. I really love what you just said there. And it's actually like, if you talk to 99 scientists, they'll all almost to a T say the same thing you just said. You have to be okay with failing.
Right.
That is the most important part. And like, we spend most of our time in science and like grad school or whatever else failing. Like, we do it a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
And it's so discouraging. Like, when, like, if I have a new test or something, or I think I have something working a certain way, and I do great. I get great gel bands like for weeks in a row, and then all of a sudden I just have shit 2-3 days of running stuff, and I have to repeat stuff. And I'm like, this is it. I suck. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm the worst person ever. Like, why did I think I could do this? And then you realize, oh, I put this primer in that by accident, or I'm using the primer for Sanger sequencing instead of the primers for the gel. Just so much stupid stuff that could happen, and you have to figure out why it's not going right. And then you got to keep all your customers happy too. So you got to try to get everything done, fixed, working fast.
There's a little bit of pressure there, right? Because I mean, your big sales pitch at this point is turnaround time, right? That's what you bring to the table, really. And so it is. I mean, it's scary, right? It's not working. I don't have an answer for why it's working, and I have 6 hours to get this working. Otherwise, everyone's gonna hate me.
Right. And honestly, most people are like so awesome about it because they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's quick anyway. Don't worry about it." Like, dude, you got my shed 3 days ago. What are you sorry about? I'm like, I know,
Yeah.
but I try. And then I have a PO box now, so every day I dread stopping at the PO box on the way home. Like,
Oh man.
and I pull out like just that. Fuck.
Just stacks. I like that. So once you announced that you could test clown, is that where you saw the big massive increase in attention?
Yes, yeah, definitely the attention. I mean, I was busy. Like I was getting a lot of the pied, a lot of hypo and pied were big. I was getting
Yeah.
a lot of them, um, and but it was manageable. It was very manageable. I get a lot of clown orders, but just announcing it and getting more publicity from it, now I'm getting a lot more orders of everything, not just clown.
Sure.
So it brought along with it other things. And I definitely have a few more genes in the works that should be coming pretty soon.
Okay.
So hopefully that works out, and just keep pushing along, keep trying to obviously I'll never compete with RGI. I don't plan on it. It's not something that I have the time to do.
Yeah.
But as long as I can stay relevant, I'll be happy.
So if for whatever reason, testing started going absolutely crazy and massive demand, like, is it something that you would consider like doing full time?
Oh yeah,
Or
like if it was something that it'd be tough just because like, how long is it going to last? Like, is it always going to be here? Is ball pythons always going to be here? Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm 20 years old. I'm 40 years old, so I don't need to work for another 60 years. So
sure, yeah.
But in my current job, I could retire in 10 years with a full pension.
So real fast transitioning to that. So what do you do in your real life? I mean, I think I might have spoiled it earlier and I don't remember.
Yeah, so I work for the New York State Police. I'm an investigator with the New York State Police. So I was a New York State trooper for a while, big funny guy, and stopping cars on the highways and going. But now I'm an investigator, and it's awesome. I love it, but it also at times is very busy and demanding. And like tomorrow morning, I got to be up at 3 a.m. tomorrow. I've got 7 search warrants to do before the sun comes up. Oof. So
you got to wake up all those poor sleeping people.
I feel bad, honestly.
That's good. I'm glad you feel bad.
Well, I'm the guy in the office. There's about 8 of us on my team in my unit, and I'm the guy in the office that's like, we still doing a search warrant in the morning? Like, it's like, yeah, we're gonna get overtime. This is great, whatever. I'm like, fuck, I don't want the overtime. I want to sleep. But yeah, I mean, and that's the good thing too. Like, so this, even though it's busy, my job is busy, but there's 8, 9, 10 guys on our team, and there's people that want to just work, make as much money as they can, overtime, blah blah blah. And now I'm like, no, take it. I don't need to be on that detail tonight. Somebody else take it who wants the money.
Yeah.
I can come home and make money here. And I'm home and I can see my family and stuff. Granted, I'm in and out of the house, but luckily when PCR is running, you get that hour to 2 hour break in between. But now with that hour, 2 hour break, I'm prepping for the next run. So
you're prepping, right? You've moved into the time management stage of grad school. I hope you're excited.
Yes, thank you.
Now you're learning how to use that run time and the gel running time efficiently.
Yes. Oh my God, I have my phone is like alarms set for like every certain thing. Like, okay, you got to take stuff out of the freezer now. Okay, you got to start defrosting this now. Okay, make your gel now. Like,
it's good though. I mean, that's honestly like I say it mildly jokingly, but like you're literally like ahead of most grad students, like year 1 and 2 in grad school. Like the amount of students I deal with where time management is the worst. Oh my God, just hearing you being like, yeah, I've got a timer for when to pull stuff out so we can start doing it. I'm like, I would murder for a grad student that came to grad school and knew like to do some of that basic stuff.
I guess the big thing is like, because I'm not 20, 21, 22, 23 years old anymore. You know,
Yeah.
I've had professional career even before I was a cop.
Sure.
I became a police officer when I was 31. So I had 10 years from the time I graduated college to the time I became a police officer where I was in finance in Manhattan. And I worked
Oh,
for like
okay.
JP Morgan, worked for HSBC. And so I have a lot of life experience prior to being a
Yeah.
cop. And
Okay.
then what do I do now?
Yeah.
Obviously. But so, I think that helps,
Sure.
being a little bit more mature, even
Yeah, a
though
little
I'm
more
the least
grown up,
mature,
maybe.
even on the least mature person I know,
Ah,
uh, besides you.
touche, touche, touche.
But
Michael
yeah,
wants to know. So I want to know if the other officers think you're a crazy snake guy. Do people know?
yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I came into one day with Jake the Snake with my picture over the face
Oh my
from
God.
WWF on my desk.
Yes.
But now, like, they all joke about it, but they all are so interested in it. I could tell.
Oh,
Like, they always ask me
dude.
questions. We'll all be sitting there eating lunch, like, so how's the snake stuff going? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. And I tell them, they're like, that's crazy. I can't believe like people would spend that much money on a snake or this or that, or, like, and, but they definitely want to know about it. And one guy, his daughter, she's, I think, like 13 or 14. She wants a ball python really bad. And
Yes.
I was like, dude, I'll give you one. I have babies.
Yeah.
I could just give you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I breed my own rats. You never have to buy rats. I'll give her whatever. And he's like, I don't know if we want one in the house. I was like,
I don't know if we want one in the house. Why not?
I was
Come
like,
on.
dude, I'll take care of you. He's like, I was like, ask her if she wants this snake. And I sent him a picture of like a pastel head clown or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know she's going to say yes. I'm like, it's up to me though. It's not up to her.
She's like, actually, it's pastel, so I don't want it. But
Yeah,
it's
right.
fine.
Yeah. If it was a visual clown, whatever, Dad.
Yeah, God, I don't want that. Those snakes are for the pores. I don't want one of those.
But,
Oh my God, I love that, man. No, that's fantastic. That's exciting. It is funny to when like coworkers and everybody else find out, what you do, and you're like, yeah, and you never really know. Like some people are like super into it, and then you have other people that are like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
yeah, no, most of them think it's cool, but it will fuck with me and joke around a lot because that's just how I am. I fuck with everybody about everything, so I got to
Right.
take it back.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah, but they all like are interested. Like when I came back from Tin, they made a big. They're like, all right, everybody, we're not going to talk about anything that happened to Charlie this weekend until we sit at lunch. We have to make this. Now tell us what happened. They were so like they thought I was gonna have some crazy story about crazy weirdos like at
Oh
this
my
show.
God.
And I'm like,
Well, I mean, you got to witness a wedding, right? At a reptile show. That's not
true.
particularly normal.
That is true. Yeah.
Oh
But
my God.
yeah, so it's fun. Like, they Google, but they're like, tell us when you're on YouTube. I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, no way.
What are you doing? You got to let them know, man.
So then they Googled my name, ball
Yes.
python, and they're playing YouTubes of me in work. I'm like, fuck.
Yes. I was just saying, did you let them know how many people wanted to talk to you at Tinley?
Yeah,
You should have been like, I am kind of mildly a big deal in a small niche community. Okay.
Yeah, they're like, no, you're a loser.
Loser. You're not a loser. Come on, you're a reptile guy.
No, I know. I
That
love
makes
it.
fun.
Hey, Paul.
Oh, and a
I am,
good cuddler.
yes,
Is that true?
It is true.
Big or little spoon?
I was the big spoon. Paul was curled up with his butt to me, so
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
he snores worse than I do.
Oh, both my wife and Andre and anybody that shares a room with me has informed me that I snore excessively. So I, unfortunately, am also a monster in that sense.
Yeah, next Tinley, I think I'm gonna get my own room.
It seemed so you were sharing with someone at Tinley?
Paul, yeah.
Oh, okay. You and Paul. Okay, got you.
Yeah. And they didn't have a 2 beds. They had 1 king left, so we literally shared a bed.
I've been there a couple of times. Andre and I have never shared a bed, but we definitely at one I can't remember if it was Tinley or if we were in Austin for something. Anyway, there was 4 guys in 2 beds, and we definitely all had to just shack up. And it is what it is, right? I mean,
yeah.
What's wrong with 2 straight guys sleeping under the covers naked cuddling? Is that weird? I don't think so.
Especially if it's cold, you got to keep.
Yeah, you got to stay warm, right?
you want to save the planet, electricity. Yeah.
And then you put the snakes between you so you keep them warm. It's great.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, see, it's just economical for everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
Sweet, man.
Where is Andre? Why isn't he here? I thought
I
thought he was just going to be in here like ball of fire talking.
Why isn't Andre here? Oh, we don't have time for that conversation. You know what? I'm going to work really hard, everyone, to try and get Andre to come on one time. One time. If we can get him on once, it's going to be a huge win.
Nice.
But I'm not seeing it happen anytime soon, to be honest. Yeah, you did. You got to interact with Andre though at Tinley. What were your thoughts?
He talked. He was talking to me, and he's definitely always think he's off the side, but then he'll interject into conversations. Seems like a really nice guy, and you're very lucky. Him, not so much.
Oh, absolutely. No, he definitely got the short end of the stick on this relationship. Yeah, no. So for people listening, Andre is very introverted, and he lets me just get out here and talk and run my mouth, and he tolerates me most days at best.
Definitely does.
So, but that's okay.
Hey, Kai.
Hey. All right. So we've got guest number 2. I'm gonna bring them in with us. This is Courtney and Steven of Leviathan. They look all serious now in the background. They look like they're ready to go. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this properly. We're going to cut our faces in half, and we're going to add them to the stage. Yes. Hey, guys. Oh, this is unfortunate. You're muted. Oh, nope. Oh. Y'all were ready.
Yeah, but Steven muted us.
Oh, no.
First time on YouTube, guys?
Yeah, is this your first time?
I know. Question, because I've never been on that side of it. Can you hear the people in the back? Like if you're backstage and we're just talking shit?
Okay.
No.
Well, I was worried. Yeah, I always worry that I'll get on y'all's nerves if we're not muted.
Courtney's like, I was talking mad shit about Charlie, and you didn't want him to hear it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Charlie, you're frozen.
Charlie froze. That's amazing.
Oh no.
Yeah,
with such like an intense face, right? Wow.
A little like.
Yeah.
He looks confused and disgusted with us.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not frozen. Maybe that's just how
he's not frozen.
So, can we take one moment? I wasn't sure how to spell your name, Steven, and it took far too much effort to figure out how to spell your name. Because apparently Courtney has hogged all of the attention on all of the social media aspects.
Really?
How does that feel?
Yeah.
Like in what way? Because I'm pretty sure our Instagram says Courtney and Steven, and that's our.
Does it? You can tell I dug really far here. Well, no, I'm
assuming you just looked at Morph Market.
Okay, first off, maybe. Second off.
I just did that in 1080p.
Guys, I'm really good at research, okay? So good. Hold on. I need to double check this because I thought I did look on Instagram and I don't specifically immediately see.
Well, if it isn't, I'm gonna update it before you.
No. Hold on. It's too late. I'm here.
We took it off.
It doesn't have your name at all. I was about to say.
We are Courtney and Steven, but it looks like we changed.
Yeah, it doesn't. And then YouTube also doesn't say it. And also in none of your videos am I able to find your name. This was just so much.
One thing going off of names. So when we started doing this, we made a kind of deliberate effort not to put our last names out there anywhere. And I'm pretty sure that Chris, when we did the 15 minutes, is like, Courtney and Steven Caps, come get their social security numbers. They live
I love that so much.
I didn't know we were keeping our last names off of it.
I don't think that we were doing it.
She's like, I wasn't aware of that.
But while you were doing your research, did you ever think to, I don't know, text or call and ask?
Okay, can we we're in the Tree of Trust, right? So no one else can hear this. Yeah, I thought we were past that point in our relationship, and I didn't know I could do that. As well, since Charlie's not here right now, I still don't know Charles' last name. I've known Charlie
from Grey Rider Reptiles.
Yeah, it's Charlie from Grey Rider.
Obviously, reptiles.
That's
and we're just gonna go with that. And fortunately, no one is gonna let him know, so this won't be awkward at all.
Yeah. No, and you did boot him from the show, right? He didn't just leave.
No, actually, he did. He said his computer. He just texted me and said my computer decided to restart on its own. BRB.
Okay, so, and now text back. What's your last name, by the way?
Nope, can't do that. No, it's too far in.
I assume it's Gray. That would be my assumption. But people used to assume ours was Leviathan. So. Which would be
Gray is a lot more reasonable of a last name than Leviathan. No, I know it starts with a W. I can confirm that because I went.
Gray.
Maybe, who knows? I went to go look at an email he had sent me hoping that it would have his last name, and it did not. So in the description, no one has last names today.
It's Williams.
What are
Williams? Okay.
Dang. I was gonna be like, what's the odds? What's the over under on whether or not it's reptile?
Well, he's here watching us.
I like how Charlie's here now. Hi, Charlie. It's Charlie Gray. I don't think it is Charlie Gray.
No, it's Williams. Go a couple comments up.
Oh, there it is, Williams. There we go. Hi, Charlie. This is awkward.
Like all the rumors that are going to start where it's like, oh yeah, it's Charlie Gray. That's what's going on. And
yeah, that's a good
from
rumor.
Your show, you've done this to him, Patrick.
I'm okay. I'm very, very, very comfortable with that. Maybe that's his new nickname now, though, right? I mean, this is how nicknames are born.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Sean. Yes, maybe. I like it. Charlie for 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, maybe. Right. I don't know what he does in the interrogation room. Who knows? Maybe. It's good stuff. Anyway, so side notes aside. Hi, guys. Thanks for coming.
Friends.
How are y'all doing?
Good. Got off work and have been running around. I recorded a YouTube video right before this. So.
Oh, what's any sneak peek? What's
way
cool?
to plug it, babe.
You're right. So I haven't edited it yet, but it is. So the last 2 years in November, we've done like a state of the ball python market. So I recorded that one.
Okay.
So just what my thoughts are and things like that. So
can we get a sneak peek on your opinion? Should I go buy $100,000 in snakes?
Now, specifically from us, yes.
Nice.
With our full $16,000 worth of animals, but spend $100,000.
I like it. Hey, Charlie Williams, how are you doing?
I thought it was going to say Charlie Gray.
That's what I assumed.
My computer decided to restart and do updates right now, so that was awesome.
Good. I'm glad I had a backup guest though.
Thank God.
Thanks.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Oh, God. I mean, I was stuck with them for 4 minutes alone and it was awkward. All right. So what's the sneak peek? Where are we at in the ball python market? Tell me everything.
All right. So I think that the economy overall, if you're looking at inflation, not just year over year, but 2019 until now, it's 30% on over 30% on necessities and things.
Okay.
So overall market, if you can just kind of extrapolate from that, people have 30% less buying power than what they did before COVID.
Okay.
I think that is impacting. People are not buying as many luxury items as they were before, or taking as much speculative risk on new businesses, new investment as they were before. I think that doesn't mean people aren't buying animals, but I think they're being much, much more selective on what they're buying. And when they are buying stuff, they're buying from brands that have a reputation and a marketing value behind them that draws attention to them. And then they're buying very specific animals for their projects when you're looking at breeders. It's not just somebody decides, I'm going to buy a clown combo today. I don't really care what it is. I'm just going to buy a clown combo. They're I'm going to buy a clown het VPI xanthic that has, oh no.
He said a sneak peek.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Oh, he was ready just to go, and I was gonna let him roll and just ruin this video. But I love how Courtney's calm the fuck down, Steven.
I was thinking about making that joke for a solid 30 seconds, and luckily Charlie had some.
Well done, Charlie. Okay, I mean that was way more insightful than I expected for a sneak peek. So thank you, Steven.
I thought you were going to say that's way more insightful than I expected from you. And
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. God, I'm not that mean, guys. I am a nice person.
He doesn't say that part out loud to us.
Yeah, I think it in my head. I'm
Charlie, after the live's over.
He waits till you leave and then he talks.
Yeah, as one should, right? That's how I only say things behind your back. That's how this rolls.
He's like, wow, Steven's really talking a lot about
Whose podcast is this? Steven's? Jesus. Oh my God. So, all right. So, whose ideas was it to really do the YouTube stuff for y'all? Because I feel like y'all really crushed the social media aspect of the ball python stuff.
From us, YouTube, I have nothing to do with YouTube at this point.
At all. Yeah. Nothing. You don't help at all?
I mean, I edit a little bit, but he enjoys it a lot, and it'll get to where I'll be like, "Here, I'll edit this week's video," and he'll get like upset with me. That's not, I guess, right. Yeah. But he'll get like anxious and be like, "Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I help? Can I help?" Oh. He just enjoys that part of it, and I used to be in more videos, but it's kind of hard to find the time because he can go out and do a video while I get everything that needs to be done, mm-hmm. or watch the baby and stuff like that. But it's kind of harder to also take that same amount of time and me also go out there and record. So I don't do as much of the recording or editing unless I'm really excited about the video.
Yeah, and then we have to fight about it.
Yeah. So unless you're really excited, how many videos have you been really excited about? Like, obviously Steven's excited about all of them based on the 45-minute lecture we just got.
It used to be, I think I used to, like last year, do it more when it would be about like a specific clutch. But I think the only one I've been super excited for this year that we've already put out was like the Nyala clutch that we hit. And then maybe like, so what happened is earlier this year, I had a stomach flu and I was recording a video and I got sick while I was recording the video. And you know how like when you get sick after you like eat Skittles and now you don't want to eat Skittles anymore? I think that happened with recording YouTube.
It definitely isn't normally alcohol related. Yeah, it's Skittles related normally.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I mean like, like when I was a little kid, I ate a bunch of Jell-O and got sick and now I don't eat Jell-O.
At all?
No, because
you're missing out on life.
I ate enough that one night.
Wow.
Oh
my God. But there's a story there. We'll get there later.
Well, I was a kid and I ate a shitload of Jell-O and threw it up. That's the story.
You could have made that better. Steven, can you tell it for her, please?
What color was the Jell-O?
Oh, yeah.
Red. All of it was red.
Okay. So did your parents like think you were like throwing up blood?
My mom thought I was throwing up blood. You're right. It was a better story than I thought.
Courtney, there was so much more to this story.
Yeah, if it was like the yellow, then like whatever. But red, that's a good one.
Courtney's gotten the CPS calling her mom like 12 times on accident.
So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it was probably a pretty funny story because it was like a plate of red Jell-O Christmas trees because it was a Christmas party and I was a kid. So I thought it was funny to just like and I loaded up all the Jell-O trees.
Jell-O shots.
Oh my God, you were doing Jell-O shots.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They probably were alcohol Jell-O shots. That's why you threw them all out.
Oh my God, did we just stumble into the issue here?
I gotta tell my mom.
It turns out it wasn't that Courtney ate 47 Jell-O Christmas trees.
What's your mom's name again?
Yeah, you're letting the cop know. This is good. We're gonna
18 that CPS gets going.
Oh my God.
Oh. Can you bail me out?
Yeah, my mom calls me to.
See, this there were so many layers to this. See, this was perfect.
I've never actually thought about it since then. Why were we talking about that?
Don't fucking know anymore.
Why you don't record YouTube videos?
Oh, that's right. You don't record YouTube videos because
I eat too much Jell-O.
Yeah, of course.
No, Steven has fun there in the videos.
I do.
Okay.
I view like the videography aspect as like another hobby, and I really enjoy it. I like improving on it. I like finding something. Not every single video I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna like learn a new skill. But I'd say like the big one I've been working on the last couple of months is like sound design.
Okay.
And I just really like it. So
can we take a moment to compliment how great y'all both look on your video? Clearly your camera and the lighting is all like perfect.
Except it's like over here.
Yeah, it is.
And then the screen is.
Yeah, it's a little off center, but that's okay because y'all aren't shiny and like pale looking like
me.
I wasn't gonna say specifically Charlie. I mean also me, but
hey, I could switch the light around. This is all I know how to do. Oh, how was that?
Oh, right, you look much tanner.
Yeah, it's better. It's definitely a step up. Yeah.
I have no clue what I'm doing. I always say like, oh, I'll research cameras now because I'm a research nut, and like, damn, I could spend a lot of fucking money on a camera. But I'm like, all right, just stop. You don't need a camera. Like,
or do we need a better camera? Is that the solution, guys? How do we look pretty like y'all?
So realistically, it doesn't really matter a ton on what your camera is, as long as you can do it in full manual mode and you have a low aperture. So like for us, I'm gonna kind of move just a little bit. So Courtney's like back here. I'm gonna move up. Do you see how I immediately get out of focus?
Yeah, you are kind of blurry.
So what's happening is we have a really low aperture. It's at 1.8, which doesn't really mean anything, but it's like how much light is getting into the lens.
Okay.
So when you have a low aperture, it lets a lot of light into the lens, so you can make images that are really, really crisp. The downside of it is when they're really wide open like that, is that you have a very, very shallow depth of field. So you have stuff that's perfectly in focus, and then the second you move away from it, it's blurry, which can actually give like a really cool kind of, it's like bokeh, I think.
Is that like portrait mode on your iPhone?
Exactly. That's what they're doing with it.
Because it's like a different lens on the back.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of professional photography uses that focus point as a way to draw attention to like the most important part of your picture or video. So that itself gives you a like really, really cinematic look. And then the reason why you want full manual mode is when you're using your iPhone, even if you're not putting in like filters, it is auto adjusting like your brightness, your color balance, doing everything, trying to make it look as best as it can based off of what it thinks it is. But the problem is a lot of times it's not great. Like it can take a picture, but not like an artistic picture. So if you have full manual mode, you can set the ISO, which is the sensitivity to light. A lower ISO means that your picture is darker, but a higher ISO can make it grainy. So sometimes when you're taking a picture with your iPhone at like a dark room and it just looks like crap for no real reason, that's why. It's because it automatically bumps your ISO up a ton. There's lots of other things like shutter speed is the other big one, like on what shutter speed you need to get the desired effect. Like right now we're shooting like at
a lower shutter speed lets in more light.
Yep, it lets in more light. The more light you get, generally, the better your picture is, as long as you're not blowing it out.
And there's no movement.
Yes,
because like if I'm taking a picture of a snake at night and I'm like, oh, let me just get a really low shutter speed to get more light, but that animal moves, it'll just get blurry.
Yeah. So when y'all are taking pictures of your snakes, like say for a customer or whatever, do y'all send really cell phone pics at all, or is it always with the camera and trying to look pristine?
No. We usually just do the camera, because, well, so I guess it depends.
I mean, iPhone pics look like shit. They're awful. Like I stopped sending pictures to customers, and now we're kind of like Andre does, and like occasionally we'll do videos and stuff now because the videos look better than the pictures. Even like the pictures are rough.
Oh, that's a good thought.
The videos.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, we just noticed the videos were much closer to the actual representation of the snake when we had, we're in the lighting room and whatever else.
I think iPhone to me tends to go kind of blue in its
100%.
So yeah, we can not do that, because when we're taking pictures of like a sunset or a banana, I don't want the blue tinge.
Right.
Yeah, it just takes away from those like yellows and oranges because
it does
fighting against it.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Yeah. If you're outside, sometimes it's better like in natural light, but maybe because our walls out in our shop are purple, so it really lends to the blue.
Yeah.
That people pick out. We started, I don't know, about a year ago using black crinkle paper for our packaging because we just thought it looked nice. And the first, I swear to God, 10 or 15 packages, people are like, you have mites. And we're like, absolutely not. What are you fucking talking about? And they're like, yeah, there's these black dots all over our snakes. And I was like, can you send me a picture? And so they start sending pictures, and it's the fucking paper shedding off onto the snake. I'm like, guys, that is construction paper. What are you doing? Do not do this to me. I cannot deal with this level of stress. I was like,
especially given like your experience on all of
right. And then I'm like, how can this many, because it was literally every shipment. It felt like every shipment that week, somebody was like, hey, what's going on here? I'm like, okay, this is terrifying. It was funny. So
what do you use? Do you use a deli cup or a snake bag?
Yeah, so we use deli cups.
Okay, I was starting to think it was just loose in the package.
No, literally, that's all we do. Yeah, we fill the package with crinkle paper. And you just throw the snake in. the crinkle paper in a Walmart bag. We poke 2 holes in the Walmart bag, though, of course, so it doesn't suffocate.
Yeah, humane.
Yeah, we're reasonable.
Those are like questions that I get from people at work. So you just put it in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Literally nothing else. A Ziploc baggie, actually.
Yeah, actually, like I was about to say, like a bubble envelope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean so anyway, we use deli cups though, and we still use the crinkle paper, and we haven't had that many questions since, but every now and then we get someone that's like, what's going on? I'm like, well, you should probably look at the little splecks and see if they're walking. If they're walking, we should have a conversation. But
quick thing from the chat, just because I saw had asked before we get too far away from it. They asked what lenses do we use for our camera. I'm assuming a DSLR. So we use the Canon R7 and the Canon R8, which are very, very similar cameras, except the R8 is full frame and the R7 is crop sensor.
Are they mirrorless or are they DSLR?
They're mirrorless. So they have interchangeable lenses. The only thing I would say is if you are looking up DSLRs versus mirrorless has significantly faster autofocus because it doesn't have to bounce the image off of the mirror and then to the sensor like a DSLR does. It just goes straight to the sensor. So
gotcha. So is that what y'all use for your webcam too, or?
Okay. It just uses I would turn it around on itself, but
it's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. She's like, I'm trying to hide the rest of the house because it's not clean. It's fine.
Excuse you.
You called her out, but you
look, Courtney, there's no judgment here. If you were to look behind my computer, you would see 2 Lego sets, a 3D printer, and no less than 300 snake sheds. So I'm not judging.
You do Legos?
Oh, do I do Legos? One moment.
Form of Legos?
Yeah, Legos.
Legos.
There's
Legos, not Lego. Legos.
What a nerd.
Well, if you turned ours around, you'd see our D&D shelf. And our Pokemon cards.
How long have y'all been collecting Pokemon cards?
Not very long.
Well, so Steven, I feel like you did it when
I was a kid. Like we have like a lot of the base set and stuff like that, but we really started collecting maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay. I like how Charlie's like, y'all are just nerds, just all of it. Do you no Pokemon cards, Charlie?
Charlie over here who literally taught genetics and is testing
like
he's
I'm definitely a different nerd.
You can curse, it's okay. Courtney, if I'm on the podcast, there's gonna be cursing. Okay. It's just unfortunate.
I do like how you flinched away like I was gonna hit you. Like,
oh my god. Steven, stop beating her. Jesus.
He's gonna be here at 7 a.m.
Yeah, jeez. Turns out you're one of the warrants.
I'm actually not in New York right now.
Yeah. Jeez Louise. Oh my god, I love that. What prompted the late life Pokemon collecting?
He had to spend his money on something.
Yeah,
all those millions of snake bucks. I get it.
So
he's got that sunset money.
Yeah, man.
I think it literally was like you cannot buy another snake, and he's like, "Well, this Pokemon card's only $10." And
I do think that was a weird thing, like going between different hobbies. I would see people like at a flea market or something, like legit getting pissed at each other because they're like debating back and forth on a card that's like $20, and somebody wants $25, and they're like on like this website, like you can see them right here. They're $20.
Troll and Toad and TCG Player,
and it's like this is wild. Like I can't believe they care that much about like.
Oh man, you have no idea.
Pokemon came out like
94.
94, yeah.
That was after. Like we had the Magic cards when I was.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I hate Magic.
You know, Pokemon was like the younger generation. Like I was born in '82, and I don't think any of my friends ever got into that. That wasn't like a thing.
Yeah, interesting. So I grew up playing and collecting. I actually like had a business buying and selling it, and I paid for my entire schooling that way. So it's just funny like hearing people that super nerd. You have no idea, like super nerd. But it's always fun. Like you don't find a lot of people that dive into it. That weren't doing it like early in their life or playing it or doing stuff like, just be like, yeah, I started collecting Pokemon cards 6 months ago. Like that's Yeah, it's not normal. I like it. It's cool.
I never was into it, but I played Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I played red, I played gold, and then I had ruby. And then I didn't really play any of the games. I had Pokemon cards back then.
Yeah.
But it was our son Wyatt, he's 8. He, within the last year or so, kind of got into Pokemon. And it kind of was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Because for like Christmas, what we did is we got him a binder with Silver Tempest, and we made printed off a bunch of proxies and put them in the slots. So that way, as he got the cards, he could go find the proxy, take it out, and put the real card in.
Nice. That's cool.
Because he and I had started coin collecting, and he would match the years and the states or whatever on them.
Nice.
And so we thought it would be similar. But it turns out he just wants the fanciest looking card.
Yeah.
The most powerful.
I mean, that's just a reasonable kid right there.
Yeah.
No.
Charlie,
I have a basement full of baseball cards. That are probably worth a penny now.
Yeah.
Because nobody freaking I don't even think. Does anybody even collect baseball cards anymore?
Charlie, do you realize the sports card market is a multi-billion-dollar industry?
Go to the flea market. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's huge, man. Now, most of the stuff from like the 80s and 90s, like most is basically worthless because it was overproduced during that time period. But like numbered cards are like rare.
That's what I have.
That's most people. There are rare inserts and stuff like that are crazy valuable, and that stuff really has held its value well. But a lot of it's.
I don't even know how many tens of thousands of them I have in my basement.
Yeah,
it's good. Interesting. I think there's a type of person who just likes to collect things because, like, you should see our bookshelves, just like signed books and stuff like that.
Okay. So do you jump hobbies? And I say jump hobbies not like a negative way, but you have like multiple hobbies that like you go from.
I think so.
I don't think we abandon very many.
Yeah,
hobbies.
we just keep acquiring.
Yeah,
more.
That's kind of exhausting.
Okay, dude, that's a lot. That's a lot.
My
Charlie
wife calls me a serial hobbyist. That's how she introduces me to people. Like he's a serial hobbyist.
You said you built a lift.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie's like, I don't know what she's talking about. I just get into something and teach myself how to do everything, and next thing I know, I have a 3D laser printing CNC machine and a lift in my garage. It's no big deal.
I have a question for the chat. Who thinks that Charlie is actually Batman? Like, I think that it's a little suspicious that he is a police officer, has taught himself like
genetics,
PhD level genetics, is an engineer. I'm just waiting for him to like put on the cape and like, hey, I gotta go take a call real quick. Like,
it is weird. People do like everybody is like always asks me like why and how do you even know? I don't know. It's just I think it's just being inquisitive and wanting to know how things work. Even as a kid, like just all right, who made this armchair? Like, how did this armchair get made? Like,
never wondered.
Where did it come from? That's just what goes through my head every time I see something. Like, I need to know how it worked and how it was built. And
I sympathize.
More Jello. That's
like this is a metal sign I made on my.
That's awesome.
I built a CNC plasma cutter. So I have a 3-car garage.
How much would it cost to get something like that made?
For you, probably like hypo clown pie.
I'm gonna have to talk to Andre about it.
Don't even ask him.
Okay.
No, like something like this is I do for people like if I was selling it like on Etsy or online, that's probably $100 and something bucks. But
okay,
I just like $40 to $80, something.
Well, no, it's you don't say that on the chat. Like at least 14 people are gonna see this, Charlie. Okay, like can't give away your secrets this early.
Honestly, like I had a big Etsy store.
Oh God!
For the last like 5 years, I had a pretty big Etsy store, and like I sold a lot of laser engraved stuff, a lot of metal stuff. But since the testing has gotten busier and busier, I've scaled back. Like I probably have only a handful of things that are non-customizable, just things I could crank out. Because around Christmas time, like it's absurd. Like I am in the garage on my CNC plasma cutter pretty much 99% of the time. So I had to cut almost all of that out because I'm not going to have time to do that this year. But
are you going to abandon the snake genetics once you find a new hobby? Is that where we're heading?
I think I'm too invested into this.
Oh, is that okay? Okay, good.
And the thing is, like, I feel there's so much more. It'll be never-ending learning.
Perfect.
Like, I don't know, like this. All right, I did it. I know how to make CNC machines. Okay, awesome. Now what? You know,
I love how that's just like, you know. Now
my wife
what?
was like, but that's the thing. I can't get rid of anything either. So my wife was like, all right, if we're cutting back, are you going to sell all the machines? I'm like, no. What if I need to make like another sign for myself? Like I need to have one whole garage bay just for my CNC plasma for the one sign I'm going to make myself in the next 5 years.
Let me introduce you to the elliptical Steven won 2 years ago and has never used.
I've used it like 5 times.
Hold on. You won an elliptical?
Yeah.
So
explain.
Has like they call it a fun fest, and
okay,
enter into like drawings and stuff. And they have like vacations. They have like smoker, things like that. And I'm like going through stuffing all my things, and it comes up towards the end where I have a couple left, but there are ballot boxes like weekend trip to Asheville in the mountains. And I'm like, all right, I want to put this in there, but it's literally so full I can't force another like slip in there. So there's like another one. I'm like, it's an elliptical. Like we're kind of like into fitness. So like, here, let me put that in there. That one slip, I lost every single one. That's the one that won. Like,
and
I like Courtney's look when you said kind of into fitness, and she's like, the fuck?
Steven was in the military, so like, yeah, he was still going to the gym regularly, but he was like, I put my last slip in the elliptical one, and I was like, where the hell are we going to put an elliptical in our house? Like, where in our house are we going to put an elliptical?
I have a full gym in my basement that hasn't been used in about 3 years.
Shocking. I'm shocked.
So
it is not uncommon for Courtney to ask me questions like that. Like, I did not think about it. I just did not think about that.
So where is the elliptical right now?
In the living room.
In the living room, of course.
Yeah, so Charlie, if you've got room in your garage and you want to,
I know. My garage looks like a bomb hit. We have a 3-car garage, and there's only one bay that my wife could park in sometimes.
Sounds like a spot for an elliptical.
There's always
sounds like a perfect spot for an elliptical.
Oh my god, I love this so much. It makes me feel so much better about my life decisions, guys.
Patrick, I'm gonna be in Richmond in 2 weeks, and I'm gonna bring you an elliptical.
No, but
low cost of a hypo clown pie.
There you go. See?
Wow,
if fit in the back of my Malibu.
Everybody. Do it. So you did text me saying you're going to be in Richmond. That's exciting. What's bringing you to Richmond?
So I work in poultry, and we're implementing software at a poultry company that's up in Jetersville, Virginia.
Okay.
So I stay in Midlothian. I decided because there's no hotels in Jetersville, and the
Fair enough.
This thing is Farmville, and there's not a whole lot in Farmville. So so I was up there last week.
You didn't text me?
I know, because it was my first week on site, and I didn't know how busy I'd be.
I get that.
Yeah, and I have a cousin in Richmond. I went and got dinner with her instead.
Oh, where'd y'all eat at? No, it's okay. Where'd you?
It was like a sushi place next to her apartment. She lives like in downtown Richmond.
Okay.
And I parallel parked on the street. I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, you got to get used to that in Richmond.
But I had to pay tolls, and I didn't like that because I'm like chucking change that I didn't know I'd have to pay. I'm literally throwing pennies in a canister.
Because you're in Midlothian, which means you have to go out onto Chippenham and Powhite to get into Richmond proper. Yeah. Anyway, you got to take the toll. Like you can. Yeah. You can take the long way to get into Richmond from
like
Midlo.
30 minutes, and I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
But most places you can go through and it'll take pictures of your license plate. But this was like easy.
No, not in Virginia. No, it's Easy Pass. It's stupid. They're monsters here. And if anybody in Virginia is listening, I'll fight you on this.
And there was no like place for a card. There was no.
It's Easy Pass or throw change at them.
Yeah, I was just dumping change.
Sorry, I should have warned you on that. It's funny you ended up in. So I actually live. Technically, it's not technically Midlothian, but it's like right there.
That way.
It's like I live in North Chesterfield, which is.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, like 3 to 5 minutes from technical Midlothian. So. Awesome. Next time you're in town, we'll take you to some good places in Richmond to eat. There's if you like Italian food, we have a really great Italian place called Edo Squid. So
awesome.
We'll have fun without Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie, you can come down too if you want.
But not me.
I don't know if I've ever.
No, definitely not you, Steven. You'll talk for the whole time.
It's true. It's true.
Definitely. It'll be a good time, Charlie. You can come down.
Let's go.
It'll be fun. You need to get out of New York. There's nothing good there.
There is not anything good here. I got out of New York City. I'm not in Brooklyn anymore. I'm upstate New York, but 10 more years and I'll retire and I'll move down south and shed, test, and breed snakes on the ocean with a boat.
That sounds like a win. So where would you want to retire to then? What is down south?
North or South Carolina, I think.
Oh.
I'd want to do like my wife doesn't want to do Florida because she's like it's just too hot there all year.
It's gross. I live there. It's not good.
Yeah. South Carolina is cheaper, but North Carolina is nicer.
I gotta look. There's certain either North or South. I think South Carolina is good for New York pensions. Like I think they have low.
They do have.
It's so cheap here.
Yeah.
Like,
interesting.
Yeah, we have a very low cost of living.
Not
I
very high cost of living.
I grew up in Illinois.
Houses.
Where in Illinois?
Downstate Chandlerville, Illinois. That's about 45 miles west.
Wow, Courtney, that was aggressive. Does it fucking matter, Patrick? Stop asking questions. He's fucking trying to talk.
I just meant Illinois blows.
Wow.
When I came down here, I was like, it was right out of college and all that, and I was looking up like the median salary of like the area I'd gotten a job for, and the average household salary was like less than $30,000.
Wow.
Blew my mind on how
it's like this is gonna be so easy to beat, like, and then he didn't.
Oh, that's savage, man.
Yeah. So it is. I like if you have a like decent job, especially if it's like remote from a different state, you can have a really, really comfortable living in South Carolina because costs are so low.
Yeah.
That's so where I grew up in Texas was like that. It was very, 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 very cheap. Like when my wife and I first,
you can't have. There's not high paying jobs in those areas, like you said. But now with remote,
So where I grew up, there was actually, so we had a defense contractor in the city I grew up in that employed, like 90% of the city. And if you like my dad works there and like you could have good jobs, but it was like you either had a great job there or you had like a very mediocre job there. Right. But yeah, no, you're right. Like, I mean, the remote working changes everything, right? I mean, that makes it so that cost of living is dramatically affected. It's a big win all around.
A lot of people from California have been moving out to like the area we're in because we're in Aiken, South Carolina, which is kind of like old money, like horse country.
Okay.
But it's still cheap compared to anywhere. So a lot of people in California who are used to like tiny
$2 million.
$2 million in California, come out here, spend $350,000 and get a mansion compared to what they like.
Yeah. And we've seen a lot of that recently, but you kind of get what you pay for in some senses. Like when I was up, like driving through North Carolina and driving through Virginia, it was kind of like, oh wow, it's really nice here.
Yeah,
but it's also it's sandy where we are. Like the soil is very sandy, so it's not as when I'm like looking at the beautiful like
agriculture,
trees and like the starting to turn orange and stuff, and we just have like a bunch of spruces, and I don't know, it's
we live 20 minutes north of Augusta where they have the Masters. It's pretty convenient, like, so I like it.
Do you go to the Masters often?
We don't, because it's madness in Augusta during the it is wild.
I enter the lottery every year to try and get tickets because I do want to go and I don't want to spend $2,000 to go.
They mustn't know who you are. Did they tell them they dropped Chimera?
I didn't. Maybe I should. Maybe I should just offer them a hypoclompide since that seems to be the currency for everything.
You're in.
Yeah,
I think they have a like a local lottery. I don't know if we count because we're technically not in Augusta.
Okay.
I'll look into it. And if we get it, like if we get picked, I'm 100 because I don't give a shit about golf.
What? Oh my God. I would love you forever.
Give us a hypoclompide.
Y'all, look, I don't care. You got to talk to Andre, okay? I mean, it's really Andre's the bad guy in all of this.
7 of them. What do I need all of them for?
I mean, let me just go get one out of the trash can. It's fine, guys.
In his sock drawer.
We'll look. I don't know if we count because we're technically not in Augusta, but I can.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I would love to go. I think it's one of those sporting experiences that you have to go to in person to appreciate. I think a lot of sporting events, like football games, even basketball games now, like even if you sit courtside, like it's cool, but the experience is generally better on TV. I think something like Augusta.
Hockey's the one thing that I love so much more in person.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I
Hockey's
go to
great.
Ranger games, like going to Madison Square Garden and you just feel the cold and the ice, and
you
can't appreciate how fast that sport is from TV. I feel like
I went to an F1 race a couple years ago, and it was the same way. Like I was like,
went to NASCAR once, and
this is different. This is cool. So yeah, I think Augusta and like I realize like golf is some people not the most exciting in the world, but I just feel like the atmosphere and like the history there, right? For better or worse.
What would you wear? Would you get all like dressed up in golf shit?
Oh, buddy, I have all the golf shit. I definitely I do enjoy playing golf, and I'm definitely that guy that if I'm gonna go play golf, I'm wearing like pink shorts and like fucked up shirts.
I can see that.
Yeah,
Are you
absolutely.
Escape, or are you gonna get tackled by master security when you walk in and they think you're homeless?
Masters.
Shots fired.
Oh my god.
I'm definitely not shaving this thing.
I've put up some.
Yeah, let's be honest though, guys. If we want to talk about the beard for a moment, it was never supposed to be like this, okay? My wife, so I started growing out just some facial hair, in high school, and she always bitched about the fact that I wasn't baby faced anymore. And so right after I graduated grad school, I shaved it all off, completely naked. And she proceeded for the next 2 weeks to follow me around the house making turkey noises because apparently I had a second chin. Okay. So that happens. Really, really helped with the self-esteem. She's a monster, but I love her. And so then I started growing it back out, and I put her in charge of like, well, you don't want the beard, but now you want the beard. Like you need to adjust its length. And like, so she shaves and trims it. Right. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if she wants to see less of my face. I'm not sure. But somehow the beard keeps getting bigger, and she's the one trimming it. So it is what it is. I don't know, guys.
Folks are mad at me in the chat for saying Illinois blows. And I only said that because I don't like Illinois. I'm sorry, everybody.
I mean, you don't need to apologize. Chat's wrong. Illinois is terrible.
So I think because growing up, I have a lot of family in Illinois, and it was always like good to see them, but they lived in the most Charlie. Oh my god.
We need to get Charlie a new setup.
Charlie Green is what it is now.
You just went green.
You're breaking out of the matrix.
I think I have a virus.
Oh my god.
Too much, you know what? Snake pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely snake pictures.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my god.
Oh. We ended up in Illinois during the winter vortex one time. And
you're even more north than us. Like when we were there, like I can't imagine somebody living during that.
And we don't have tornadoes here, and they have tornadoes there. And
buddy, have you ever been around tornadoes?
I have, but
no. That's the scariest thing.
Courtney, let me tell you, you are missing out. There is literally a video on my Facebook of me watching a tornado go in front of my college while we were sitting in the glass planetarium watching a fucking tornado.
My heart rate is increasing.
I'm literally like interviewing my friends on this thing, being like, we're making it through the storm, guys, and there's a fucking tornado going across the street. Oh, dude, good times. Yeah.
I thought that
the power's out at my house. It's fine, guys. It's fine.
So it's a tornado. Oh god.
It's a tornado.
When I moved down to the south, I had never experienced a hurricane before, and I thought that was like a massive tornado.
Oh god.
And I was like terrified.
Reasonable.
I think people they lessen the significance of hurricanes because they're like, oh, it's just windy. It's not like a tornado. It's not tearing things up. It's really the flooding with hurricanes, because when the like sea level rises, or like the rivers get all full and cannot like drain into the ocean anymore. Places that aren't even being like affected by the wind or the rain are flooding and not draining at all. So it's really the like flooding.
Yeah.
is scary with the hurricane.
Benevolent Reptiles said, gonna send some YouTube stuff from Joplin. Yeah, my family went out to Joplin during the tornadoes, and it was, that was awful.
See, that's a good thing about New York. We don't have tornadoes, you don't have earthquakes. If you're not in like Buffalo and really far north, you don't get the crazy snow. It'll, like where I'm at in Albany area, we'll get decent snow in the winter, but nothing like Buffalo.
What is decent snow to you?
Like we could get a foot or 18 inches
a year, or just like at one time?
No, in like a day or two.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, I haven't seen snow since I moved to South Carolina.
But that's not a lot. That's not like all that'll happen like once or twice in the winter, sometimes never. But I did notice, like when I lived in Brooklyn, you get snow, but it'd be melted within like a week. Up here, it stays cold enough where,
I mean, it's still like a couple hours.
No.
Comes out.
Like up here, once the snow hits the ground, you pretty much have snow on the ground until April, end of March. But when I lived in Brooklyn, we lived on a peninsula off of Sheepshead Bay, and during Sandy, that's what happened. We were all underwater.
Yeah.
I don't do cold. I picked MCV for grad school because it wasn't like super cold, but like, it was far and away from my family. I could get away from everyone. I almost went to grad school in Boston, and then I went and spent some time up there in like March or April one year, and it was still like absolutely fucking snowing and everything else. And I was like, what in the world? I would have died. I just would have died. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
No.
That's why the Carolinas, I think, are great. You still get somewhat of a season,
Yeah, I would say North Carolina is better for that. It doesn't snow in South Carolina.
I'm fine. I don't need to see snow again ever.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say,
I've been here for 7 years, and I don't think it's ever. If it snowed, it's never stuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then up in like North Carolina, you get like one snow a year, and it's like maybe 2 or 3 inches, and it's gone the next day.
Yeah, Virginia's like Richmond's similar. We'll get 1 or 2 snows a year. Sometimes it's 5-7 inches. We did have one year where it was 14. Also a Facebook video of that. I record a lot of weather stuff apparently. Anyway, but yeah, it's not terrible. So, but I don't do the snow. I'm with y'all. It's terrible. Hard pass. So we didn't talk much about the snakes, guys. You want to talk about your snakes? What you got going on over there?
All right. Do you want to go, or you want me to? I'm not allowed to talk because he'll bully me again.
That's true. Hold on. Who takes care? Who takes care of the snakes?
Who takes care of them?
Yeah.
I do the feeding. We both clean. I do all of the like hatchling care. So anything like weighing or setting up, like writing down information, feeding hatchlings. If we have to assist feed, I'm the one who does that. But Steven, I think, does more of the like locks.
Yeah, I do like the breeding stuff, and I'm the one who buys snakes. So like
exclusively, or does like Courtney
exclusively, but almost always I'm the one who, if we're gonna buy something, it's because I want it.
And if we buy something really good, it's because I bought it.
Well, yeah, that just makes sense. That's just logical.
Steven picks most of them, but then I mean, I specifically really like asphalt and clown. So like we picked up a hypo clown.
Inchi gravel hypo clown.
Thank you. He also memorizes everything.
Nerd.
And so like that was me. Steven was on the fence about that one because it was gravel and not asphalt. But now that we can test the sheds, thank you, Charlie. Like we're not worried about gravel / asphalt anymore.
So when y'all make a decision to buy a snake, what are some of the factors that you let drive that decision making?
We kind of think, who are the first, like if it's a male, who are the first like females that they will go to, or if it's a female, what are her first 3 like pairings? What do they look like? It's also, does she or he fit into one project, or do they fit into multiple projects? Do we have space? Is this something new where we're going to have a ton of space for holdbacks, or is it like going to work into something existing? And also, like, do we already have all of these genes just in another animal, or maybe 2 other animals?
Yeah, so, I'd say one other one is like, can we produce it ourselves?
Yeah.
Because if we can produce it ourselves, like if we just pair the 2 animals together, like for example, like let's say it's a GHI het sunset. We don't have a GHI het sunset, but if we wanted, We could 100% do
Make
that,
it,
like
yeah.
very, very easily. So if we're gonna buy a GHI Het Sunset and that's it, it's not strong enough. We'd need to get like a.
You don't think about it though, like I heard somebody talking, which I've been trying to do now. Like even the snakes that you like that you could produce, why not buy it
Exactly
because it's older and sell the babies?
Yeah.
So now you're ahead. That's what I'm gonna try to start doing more of. Like I just be like, yeah, can I make that? Yeah, I can make it, but I could also buy it right now and start raising it up. And then when I make it, start selling them.
I think that's the case. Like in his example for like a GHI Het Sunset, that's just so quick to make. Like I'd rather just make it. But if it was something like technically we could make a like visual whatever, but it's gonna take 10 years to do it. I'd rather just buy it.
Yeah. I know like I had a very oddly specific example like 2 years ago when I was pairing stuff up. The best animal that I was aiming for from that clutch, I think at the time was like a yellow belly blackhead dreamsicle.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really excited to make that. And then just had listed one for sale. And I was like, well, why wouldn't I just go ahead and buy the blackhead yellow belly dreamsicle? It's already hatched. It's a male. It's what I need. And I don't have to worry about hitting perfect odds. Right. And so I think I get where you're coming from. And then there's times though where you're right. Like if I can make it relatively easily, the question is then why am I buying it? And if time is a factor, right? Because sometimes that year advance is huge on a project, right? Like it's potentially tens of thousands of dollars in income.
So our most recent snake that we bought was from Brock. It was a Phantom Puzzle 66% Het Sunset, and we couldn't have made the animal because we didn't have any puzzle. It's our first puzzle,
right?
And Phantom.
Yeah, and we didn't have any Phantom either. The fact that there's 66% Het Sunset and there are no like puzzle Het Sunsets out right now. Like it's like the very first ones that's coming out, and if they prove, that is huge for us because
Did you buy males or females?
We
pair.
We bought a male.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we bought a male. So we'll get him tested. If he proves, that's huge because we have so many different sunset females that he can go to. And if he doesn't prove, that doesn't really set us back because we didn't have puzzle to begin with. So we just start working that project, just not as far along.
Now, was the 66% a premium? Did you pay more for that, you think?
A little bit. I don't know if Brock wants me to talk about the price.
No, it's okay. Yeah,
no,
you don't mean
the price, but I'm just saying, like, would you think that added a little bit to it?
A little bit, like, yeah. I don't want to say.
No, that's fine.
Not a large premium.
Nice. No, I mean, so I think most people probably know, like, the main project y'all do work is Sunset. Is that something y'all try and mix like everything else into, or?
I think so, but that's also because I'm biased and I want to mix everything. What do you think?
I was reading. What was the question? Sorry.
Oh,
I was reading the chat. I'm sorry.
Unbelievable. How do you feel about Sunset? Do you want it in every gene?
I like it in the darker genes. I think like there are genes that I want it in, but again, I really like the asphalt stuff. I like the super asphalt stuff, and I want everything in super asphalt, kind of the way Steven wants it in Sunset.
Okay.
So, and some of those things they do cross over. Like it would be cool to have a super asphalt. So obviously, like that would be cool, but
like this
year, I don't get as excited about it as he does, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Sunset's my favorite. A lot of the projects I really, really like that we do.
I will say when we hatched out those banana sunsets, those like especially right out of the egg, holy shit, those were beautiful.
Yeah.
They're crazy. How do they age?
Compared
to other sunsets.
I think it depends on what you like. Like if you like the yellow, then you're gonna really like it.
You're gonna be stoked.
Yeah, but if you want the darker, like because when they first hatch, it's like yellow and orange, and as they age, they get more yellow. So if you like the yellow, then you're set. And that's just a single gene. Well, not single gene, but like just banana sunset. That doesn't have like cinnamon or enchi or anything in it.
I got you. What recessives have y'all mixed into it so far?
So far, we've done
Ultra Milk Clown and
Desert Ghost and Hypo, but we didn't mix in the Hypo. We got a Hypo. We have a Bongo Triple Het Sunset Ultramel Hypo, and then we that we picked up from Brock that we're going to be pairing to our 3 Sunset Ultramel double hets that we had held back last season.
Nice.
And then the puzzle if he proves out to be het sunset, because he hasn't shed yet, so we got to wait for that shed. Sunset clown, we have a clown het sunset, and then we have 4 double het sunset clowns, and we have a cypress honey double het sunset clown female. Nice. And then sunset desert ghost, we have a chocolate inchy double het sunset DG, a chocolate inchy double male, a chocolate inchy double het sunset DG female, and a chocolate double het sunset DG female.
You're right. He does memorize everything.
Literally. He was running through that spreadsheet in his head, and I like it. It was good. He's like, column A7.
And I know which one of them will bite me when I open their tub on feeding night. So that's different.
I like that. You're like, I know who doesn't like me.
Yeah, I know which one of them are
monsters. Yeah. We have one that she's just a dick, and enough to the point where we had a girl that was helping clean tubs, and it bit her, and she's like, I'm done. I'm not coming back. I was like,
you can see because there's there's the blood smeared on the name tag from where they got
yes,
because we flip name tags when we feed to be like, oh, there's a rat in here.
Yeah.
So every once in a while you can see an old smear, and I'm like, that I know that's a bad one because they bit me, and then I flipped the name tag.
Oh my god,
my hand.
I love that. Yeah, have y'all put quick side, have y'all put asphalt into sunset yet?
We're doing that this season.
Okay.
Yep, we're doing.
So we have yellow belly, but we don't have asphalt yet.
Yeah, we're doing our clown het sunset to a super asphalt female.
Okay.
So we had originally planned on doing it to our
sunset to super asphalt. Or are you
no? Well, that's what. No, yeah, I was gonna say we have a banana. Is it mahogany?
Yeah.
Banana mahogany asphalt black pastel.
Yeah.
That we were originally going to do, but we decided to do the super asphalt so that we could kind of
have better odds.
Since
we're going to be going, all of them will be 50% het sunset, and we'll get them tested to figure out which ones. So, but yeah, our thoughts on that were, I'm pretty sure Brock and Winston and them are going to hit the Sunset Freeway probably this season.
Okay.
And our thoughts are, one, we think it's awesome and we definitely need to go for it, but we wanted to try to cut ahead.
Absolutely.
Not just go make just sunset or het sunset, asphalt het sunsets, try to make asphalt double hets.
I think that's actually something more people need to actually think about when they're looking at pairings and future plans, right? Because it's if you miss on that first, the single, right, the sunset asphalt, you can try and be the runner up, or just go ahead and jump it, right? And like you said, go to a double. Fuck it. Just go ahead and make that jump, and that way you're working towards it. And even if somebody else beats you to you on that one, you're at least closer to that one. That one's definitely going to hold more value long run. I think it's a good thought process for sure. How big is the collection?
94 is what we have, not including for sale.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened because I've been telling people 70 for the last.
That's our holdbacks. That's our holdbacks from the season, is what.
Yeah, I guess so.
I counted yesterday. That's why I know.
I love it. Usually 94. I've memorized everything.
I have to take off because I got to wake up soon. So,
Charlie, thank you for hanging out with us.
He has crime to fight tonight.
Yeah. Good luck, Batman.
I just need I need 3-4 hours of sleep, and I'll be all right. Then I'll crash midday tomorrow hardcore.
Yeah, when you said you have to get up early I thought you meant 6.
No, he's
I have to be out and sitting on somebody's house doing pre-search warrant surveillance by 4. So
what is pre-surveillance or pre-warrant?
So we're doing a search warrant on a house, and we have our
house?
We have our SWAT team doing it.
Okay.
So everybody's meeting at one location to talk about what's going to happen, but we need somebody sitting on the house to make sure they could relay back if anything's going on. Lights are still out. They're still sleeping. We're good.
What did they do?
You're going to wake them up? What a dick move.
Yeah, they're going to get woken up probably with a lot of flashbangs and shit too. It's going to be sick. That wakes you up.
What? I'm both angry at you and really excited for you all at the same time. Because I just feel bad for those people. Let them wake up.
Well, they did crime, Patrick.
I don't care. Let them wake up peacefully. Jesus.
Well, you can't, because usually when people are awake when you do these things, they decide to get crazy and may grab a gun, and then you wind up
You know
I
what?
would say I think I'd be more likely to do that if I was woken up in the middle of the night.
Not with these ninjas coming through the windows, man. Our guys
You're
are like
already
literally
gotcha.
insane. Like our guy,
windows. Jesus Christ! I thought this was like
no, like our SWAT sort guys, we call them. They literally like they have the big Bearcat with the Rams on the front. We have dogs, canines running around the house.
Turns out Charlie actually is Batman, guys.
Who are you arresting? What did they do?
They're bad people.
They're bad people.
Yeah, these when we do ones like this, it's usually something pretty
unpaid
good.
parking tickets.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, you know, they tripped somebody on the sidewalk.
How often does this happen?
I would say we average.
And he's like, I have to get out of
Sorry.
1 or 2 a month, you know. It depends. Sometimes it's crazy. Sometimes we're doing them a couple times a month, but
oh my God. All right, we're gonna let you go. We're literally gonna have another episode though where we only talk about Charlie doing his job. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I thought you meant when I leave you're just gonna talk about me.
Well, yeah, we're gonna do that, but we're also gonna have an episode where we just talk about you doing your job and traumatizing poor civilians. So it's good.
Damn civilians.
Poor innocent civilians.
Yep. I'll send you guys pics tomorrow.
I can't wait, bud. Have a good one.
Later. Good night, guys.
Yep. Bye. Oh my God, that's amazing.
When he had said like, "Oh, I've got some search warrants to execute tomorrow," I was like, "Oh, okay."
9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
No,
I've met the police around here.
He's called me before, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm sitting outside this guy's house. They're doing a coke buy." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, it's like this big gang thing." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Dude, you can go. It's just we'll talk later." Like
we had somebody like steal my checkbook once, and like a kid that was supposed to be like babysitting for us and like mowing our lawn and stuff, and he stole my checkbook and tried to cash a couple checks for like thousands of dollars. So like I have to for the bank, like I have to report him, and I know who it is because he literally signed his name on the checks.
Oh, no.
He asked our neighbors to help them
teach him how to write cursive.
Teach him how to write his name in cursive. Yeah. Or teach him how to write in cursive so he could write in cursive on these checks. And I have driven him to the gas station where he cashes the checks that I had given him, like legitimate checks that I've given him. So I know where he cashes the checks. And there's a stamp on the back of the check as where they cash the check. So we like report it to the police and stuff, and they come to take a statement. And they were like, it would be really helpful if we could prove it by like finding out where he cashed the checks. And I'm like, I have because the bank sends me the cash check with the stamp. And I'm like, yeah, it's the like, gas and go. And she goes, yeah, there's 2 of those. Call one of them.
This doesn't feel like it's that complicated, guys.
I can tell you which one it is because I've brought him there before.
Oh my God.
Call one of them.
Oh, that
sucks.
sucks.
No, it's the other one.
Yeah. If they say that wasn't them,
it's
if they
the
didn't
other one.
Get a bounced check last week for $800, then
oh my God, that's amazing. All right, so gently pivoting back, 94 snakes.
Yes.
Do you want to get bigger?
Not really. Well,
yes, but not quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do under 20 clutches a year.
Right.
Okay.
And we're pretty, we both work full time. I've started traveling for work a bit. Steven kind of commutes into the office. We have small children. If it were to replace one of our full-time jobs, we could get bigger. But it's going to be kind of growing pains to get to that point.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that.
Because I feel like that, not in like a conceited kind of way, but we both have good jobs that we both like. So it's like, if you have like a job that you hate and it pays crap, it makes it really easy to like, if you can replace your income with it.
There's motivation there, right?
Yeah.
And maybe look, I'm in a moderately similar situation. My wife has an incredible job. I have a good, university job. If I want to even go like real true full time, like there's not a ton of motivation. There wasn't a ton of motivation, right? Merging with Andre created that motivation, but so I get where you're coming from though. Like and it's a lot of commitment too to make that decision, right? And there's a lot of risk involved and all that other jazz.
Because it's not just like, oh, I need to make the same amount in snakes that I make from my job, because it has to be what you make in snakes, what you're used to like if I'm used to bringing in $50,000 a year in snakes, it's that plus my salary, plus the fact that I'm losing taxes. I'm losing my health insurance. Well, I guess I'm paying more for health insurance because we both be on the same one. Benefits are gone, stuff like that. So going full time is kind of
scary, and we're not ready for that.
I completely get that. It's very. When I first started, my wife, she put a number up there and was like, "If you're not making this number, it's not even a question. So don't even ask."
I would like to. Like, I like my job, so I run the digital marketing for an agricultural bank on the East Coast. I really like my job. I get to do a lot of like really cool stuff that even if we go with Leviathan Snakes, I'll never be able to do. Like, because like our ad spend is so high, it just does not make sense. Like, we spend like $70,000 to $100,000 a month in ad spend at work, and there's no way we'll ever get to that point.
Leviathan Snakes isn't doing that.
No, I
know you got to bump those guys. You got to bump those numbers up.
I know. YouTube, when you get monetized, they give you like a $50,000 check right away, but it's just not enough. So
that's good to know. It's good to know. I like the flex there when you get monetized. I wouldn't know. My 13 followers hasn't got me.
I see how many people. Actually, you've got. It's not a bad chat.
Yeah,
this is the first time you've done this. That's pretty good.
No, I'm super. I mean,
I thought you were like, no, this is like the 10th time I've done it.
No, this is definitely the first. No, I'm super. I mean, I'm just excited people want to come and hang out. So
I like my job a lot, but I would like, because it is very corporate. Like if I want to do something, if I want to change a display ad, it has to go through a lot of levels of approval. Even though I'm like in charge of digital marketing, I'm not the only one who has a say in that.
Sure.
So it's with Leviathan Snakes, you have a lot more freedom. You can do what you want. I don't know. I like it a lot. I really like the marketing aspect of Leviathan Snakes.
I work in agriculture, so it's kind of the Wild West when it comes. Like, it's not very corporate where I am.
You're like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's good.
Yeah. But I would like to get to the point where we are able to work for Leviathan Snakes full time. I don't think that's going to be anytime soon. I feel like that like we're going into our 4th season. I feel like that it's got to.
Well, not a lot of people. I don't think very many people do it full time. I think most people that I know, they still keep their day job.
Yeah, I know like Brock and Brad still have their day job.
You still work.
I think I think most people would be shocked to find out how few people actually do this as a true full-time living. It's tough. I mean, this is Andre's full-time living. I mean, I have the university job that's fortunately flexible enough that I work, I can work whenever I want for that job. So it adds a lot. But yeah, I think people would be really surprised by how few people really do it full time. It's tough. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard. And especially like, in a market where we're at right now with stuff, right? Where sales are there, but you got to work for them.
Yeah. Our prices are definitely lower this year. Yeah. We haven't had any trouble selling animals. We're selling a lot more of them on YouTube and in person, I think.
Okay.
But we only have to do like 4 shows a year. Like, we don't do a whole lot of shows.
But we also don't produce a whole lot of animals.
Yeah, we get about 100 babies a year, and we can. I think we have 30 left, maybe.
That's very many. I wish I.
Well, okay. We did hold back 20 of them.
Okay, but still, I mean, I wish. Oh God, to only have 50 babies in the rack right now. Jesus.
So I think we held back maybe 12 or 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's reasonable though. I mean, that's good. I mean, that's how you grow, right? That's part of the growing process. If you're not going to dump a ton of money into it, you got to grow it up that way. So I think that's awesome.
We definitely have lower prices on our display. Like after seeing, we've definitely lowered some prices after he got back from Tinley. It was like,
oh yeah, which was
that shocking for you to see the pricing at Tinley?
It hurt, but it makes sense.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
So, and I think the reason why it hurt is because and I know that we have much, much smaller amounts of animals as a lot of the vendors at Tinley, and I don't necessarily fault them for their prices. But like we have sold animals fairly easy, like before they hit Morph Market, for prices that were like double than what they were going for at Tinley. Like within a week of Tinley. Like so it's just kind of like if we can sell animals for those prices, even though we are significantly smaller than a lot of other like people, I feel like that there is a market for them, but I think that people are just a little
desperate.
There's too much undercutting going on in that it's making people rush to like.
I was having a conversation today with a very, very, very large breeder, like 3,000 clutches a year. And that was actually something we were talking about. And we had talked about it loosely before, but I hadn't really thought about the timeline. And he brought it up and he was like, these are all of the COVID breeders now dumping their stock. And he's like 2020 hit, everybody bought, 2021, everybody bought. He's like, we're at year 3. He's like, this is when everybody's producing. And now we're seeing the people that paid the hyperinflated pricing of COVID, and they're now trying to recoup that. And so I guess I haven't been particularly surprised by the low pricing. It is mildly frustrating, but I mean, if you have an avenue where you can get the funds, I mean, that's great, right? I mean, YouTube is a great outlet for sales for sure.
And I think this is a good year for people to be buying. Like I know High Viz is in the chat. I swear she shows me another snake she bought every single week. she's acting like we did in 2020, but she's getting a lot better prices
and a lot better animals than we got. Like
how many clutches do you do a year, Patrick?
We're gonna have 99 this year.
Damn, you couldn't just splurge and do the last 100?
Andre,
like one gravid normal breeder female from somebody.
Man,
say you had 100.
You laugh. We ultrasounded everything yesterday to see if there was any shot at one more, and I think we have 97 on the ground right now, and then we have 2 more left to lay. And
honestly, that's just embarrassing. Say 100.
I know. 100. We do 100. Yeah, we had a really great clutch average, but the number just I was actually kind of bummed that we didn't hit 100 this year.
We got a pretty low clutch average. Like I think maybe it's because we didn't breed some of the females that gave us more eggs last year, but I think our average was closer to 5 or 6 eggs when it's normally like average of 7 or 8.
Yeah, we're at 7 points. So we're at 97. I'm looking at the numbers real fast. 97 clutches on the ground, 735 total eggs with 7.6 per. And then 56 slugs, which always is never fun, but I know. Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess we only have like 13 clutches, so our 4 slugs are
it's the numbers, they kind of match up, but yeah, I mean 7.6, I'll never complain about that. That's
Yeah, I think we had much healthier. We had smaller clutches this year, but last year we had one disaster clutch with like 4, and it was a stupid thing to be a disaster clutch, but it was there's like 4 kinked babies, eyeless baby, and a with one eye. So like that happened last year. We didn't have anything like that this year, but we did have a Partho this year, which was interesting.
Sorry, my dogs are hunting a roach right now, and they just lost their mind because the roach like ran away. My wife would be upset if I said there was a roach in the house.
I was going to say,
yeah, it's really dirty here. Clearly, yeah, that's always tough. We actually just cut a clutch, and 8 of the 10 babies were all dead in the egg, and it's so frustrating when that happens. You're just like, God, why? And like, I mean, it just shit happens sometimes, and it sucks, but it's part of the deal, unfortunately.
When we have something like a small-eyed baby, depending on like how bad that kind of like deformity is, like if it's something that makes it, like if it's missing an eye, like an entire eye, we usually just kind of charge shipping.
Yeah,
like
what we say is we don't sell deformed animals, so we'll essentially give them away.
So that's like if it's missing an eye, but like if it just has like small eyes and it's going to live a perfectly healthy life,
that's different. Yeah,
pet only, half off kind of deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I get that. We're similar boat.
But yeah, people love it.
They love the deformed babies.
They do, right?
Oh my gosh,
it's surprising. But those are the pet people, right? That they just want a very unique looking animal. We've definitely given away our fair share of like one-eyed ball pythons or, eyeless ball pythons and blinkies and winkies. And, yeah, it's funny how that works out. So, let's see. You blew it. I know I did blow it. I wish it had been 100. I really do. But
I was wondering what you blew.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Quick question back on pricing. So
yeah, sorry.
We're talking to a breeder who does like 3,000 clutches, and they were saying that it's like COVID or people who got in during COVID, them having their own animals and them bringing them onto the market. Are they saying is the idea behind that the COVID breeders are the ones who are dropping the prices, or that they are they're just trying to recoup what they had paid?
Yeah, I think I mean, look, all of these answers are more gray than black or white, right? Yeah. There's multiple, confounding issues, but I think we have a lot of people that paid these hyperinflated prices that, saw. So you buy an animal in 2020, right? And for 2 years, you see this same animal still selling for basically the same price, $5,000-$10,000, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so you have it in your mind when you're producing, you're going to be making $5,000-$10,000. You're going to pay this animal off in one egg, and life's great. Mm-hmm. Well, then reality hits, and for those people that weren't here pre-COVID, sometimes you didn't pay a male off the first year. Sometimes that just happened. And so now they're in this market where instead of selling those babies for 10,000, they're selling them for like 500 or 1,000 or even 2,000, right? And they're like, oh, well, now it takes 10 eggs to pay off my male. This is awful. I have to do whatever it takes to sell as many babies as I can to recoup my costs. And we always race to the bottom before, but now I feel like there's a slight bit more. It's exacerbated by the fact that people bought in during a hyperinflated time. Mm-hmm.
I think that I think you can tell who is excited to make cool animals and who really cares about, who is excited about what they're making versus excited about the potential to make money.
Yeah,
because fair. It's. I think people. We had talked about it, I think, the other night, where there's some people who are like, well, I can sell 100 or like 10 $100 corn snakes.
Yeah.
To me, yeah, you can, but I'm more. I don't want to sell 10 $100 normals. I want to make the cool animal because I want to hold it back. It's kind of for me. It's a little selfish, I guess.
No, I mean, no, that's very reasonable though. I think.
And it's also you can tell kind of who maybe spent more than they should have, because if you're just trying to recoup your costs, obviously everybody wants to recoup their costs, but if you didn't have the money to spend, you're going to be a little more stressed out about making it back than somebody who had more of a cushion.
Oh, I mean, sadly, that's just been an issue in ball pythons. Since I got in, you always have the people that come in, they think they're going to make $1 million that first year, and then they find out that they're not going to make $1 million that first year, and it actually takes effort, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a reoccurring theme. I feel like this market to me doesn't feel super abnormal. I feel like we're just correcting back to what we should have been anyway. COVID screwed everything up and hyperinflated all of it. If you really look at 2019, 2018 pricing and compare it to right now, we're actually still kind of up on some projects and really not that down on the others. So it doesn't worry me. I think we just have to hustle now. It actually takes some effort to sell stuff,
So when going off of kind of this topic and business of ball pythons, selling ball pythons,
yeah,
I tend to think of it in if I don't know if this is legit. I don't have data backing this up. Just anecdotally, I feel like different segments of the ball python or reptile hobby are pet keepers, and they're completely different than somebody who is just getting into breeding and buying a bunch of animals, but they're entry level breeder animals.
Yeah.
And then there's a different segment to the people who've been breeding for a couple years and are now really trying to invest big money in small amounts of snakes to up their collection. And then there's a different segment of people who've been in for I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years, who've been in the whole time, and they've kind of gotten all that. And the only time they buy something now is when it's truly leading edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there, in your experience, do you agree with that?
And where are you?
without sounding too much like we're at the we only buy things that and it's not. If we buy an animal, it needs to fit very, very specifically into a project at this point. And it needs to be, I don't know if we've bought a male, unless it was like an oddly like reasonably priced like specialty male. I don't think we've bought an animal under like 10 grand over the past like 3 years, or 2-3 years, just because like most of that's males. When we spend a lot of money, it's on males, because you get the most bang for your buck from there. That's really how you can jumpstart stuff. But yeah, it's got to be super special. I do agree. Like it's definitely segmented for sure. I think the market as a whole is a pyramid. And the further up you get in the pyramid, the bigger your audience is, but also the harder it is for you to buy animals that don't specifically fit what you need. So, yeah, it's weird how that works for sure.
Sometimes they're just so pretty.
They are, but you have to show restraint, right? That's the hard part. Yeah, I wish we made 500K a clutch. God, life would be so much easier.
Did you hear? Did Adam tell you about how like he didn't know that you were Chimera, and he's talked to you a couple times in different like Zoom calls and stuff, and like just put it together Sunday.
Yes, I am half of Chimera.
Sorry, my bad.
No, it's okay. Sorry, it's okay. Andre doesn't want to be acknowledged by the public. I don't know why. It is what it is.
So follow up on that is for those segments. I personally feel like that pet owners are like local shows. Like that's where you find your pet owners. You might be able to find them online too if you have like a good social media presence. But for entry level breeders, those like really hardcore hobbyists and the like leading edge people, how do people sell to them in your opinion?
Oof. How do people sell to them? So networking is I think like step one. That's how, when I first sold my first few high-end animals, it was through networking. Also just posting tons of shit. I mean, social media is really the important part. You can put stuff on Morph Market, obviously. It's very passive that way. But I think just getting your animals out there and letting people see them, that's the important part. Because most of the high-end breeders are paying attention to what's being produced. It surprises me when I get pictures from like even like Justin, and he'll send me pictures of a snake and be like, "Did you see this one yet?" You're like, "Oh no, that's cool," right? So I think just getting your animals out there and then networking are the two like biggest things to me. I've told this story before, but my first year of making like what I thought were cool high-end animals, I literally walked around the Daytona Reptile Show to every booth and like introduced myself and showed them pictures of my fucking snakes. Because in my mind, that was like the best way for them to associate, me with a nice animal. That was my approach. Not everybody's going to take that. Not everybody is obnoxious.
I think that's what Steven did.
I think it's great.
Yeah, he just made himself everybody's friend.
Yeah. I don't give him a choice.
He doesn't. Yeah,
you can't. No, that's it, man.
Lights himself places, and
dude, I 100% the same boat. I mean. Y'all see me at Tinley. I walk around with lanyards and T-shirts and throw them at people. Like you don't have a choice. Like you're going to accept Chimera whether you want to or not.
Shit, I was gonna wear your T-shirt today. I forgot.
That's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I think visibility and what does it take to be visible is there's a lot of layers to that as well, and y'all know that.
You do y'all's social media?
Yeah. That's why it's spotty and mediocre at best. But yeah, it and we really just.
I was gonna say you're all over the place now.
Yeah, you're doing a lot.
Well, it's more now. Instagram, I just need to be more consistent with it, to be honest. And I was supposed to be doing.
Comment. I'm sorry.
Which one? I'm just glad.
He said if I make a cool sunset, I talked to Leviathan. Cool freeway mutation creation. Cool hypo, Chris Eaton.
Yes, that's true. I love that. Exactly. Chris will buy it for sure. Yeah, I just need to be more consistent with everything. I'm not consistent enough on Instagram. And then I was supposed to be doing YouTube videos like y'all do, and I just can't be bothered. I don't enjoy it, and I don't think I'm good at it. And so this was Andre's nice compromise, was me doing a podcast.
The best advice I have on doing YouTube pretty solidly and regularly is have Steven do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It works great for me.
Yeah. Steven, what's your hourly rate to get you out to Richmond and to film stuff? Is it one hypo clown pod?
I was going to make the joke.
He's got nothing else.
I love it. That's the only animals we have here, just hypo clown pods. The goal is next year to hire another person, and that person's role will be to specifically help me with social media. Because I think that's where honestly we lack the most. Because I'm not good at staying on top of it, and I don't feel like I'm creative enough for the video side of it. So
the way I do like the video stuff, because we do one video a week, and it is for the most part, I try to think of a question that either I've had, or somebody else, because a lot of people will like reach out to us and ask us like various questions on like social media, or like we'll call them and just kind of talk about various things. And a lot of times there's some question in there that's like, oh, that would make a good YouTube video. Like, how do you price snakes? Yeah. So it doesn't matter if everybody else already has their own ideas. If I give my ideas on it, even if they're not what everybody else agrees with, as long as it's catchy enough and people like are watching our stuff, they're like, oh, I do want to see how somebody else thinks about this.
I like that. That's a good thought process. Yeah.
And then it's just the idea is each video is supposed to provide some kind of unconditional value to the audience. So that way they come out of it feeling better than when they started. So that way they associate like positive things with us. They feel like that we've helped them with stuff. And hopefully if they at some point want an animal like a sunset or asphalt thing or something that they're like, oh, I know Leviathan works this project and I've watched a bunch of their videos. I want to support them this way.
We get that.
Even if they could buy the animal from somebody else, even if they could buy the animal from somebody else for cheaper, a lot of, I would say 80% of our sales this year have been people are like, I watch your YouTube channel.
80% of our revenue has come from YouTube. I'd say we sell more animals like we can sell 13 animals in a weekend or in a day at a show, but they're going to be under $500.
Of course.
Under $1,000, I guess.
Justin told me a long time ago when I was talking to him about like which social media avenues to focus on, right? And he's like, Instagram, you get the most engagement in, but like YouTube, you get infinitely more loyalty. And so he was like, the customer loyalty, he's like, if they're willing to subscribe and watch you, he's like, they're invested in your business. And they No, you're good. Yeah. And he just was saying like they appreciate what you're doing and they want to support that a lot more frequently.
And like think of the attention that it takes to follow someone on Instagram versus on YouTube. When you are scrolling on your feed, you're swipe, double tap, swipe, double tap, swipe, double tap. Yeah. And maybe a comment. But like YouTube, you are sitting and watching.
Yeah.
Or like however, maybe you're driving to work or whatever it is, you are consuming one person's media at a time, and it's a lot easier to like
build a connection.
But like TikTok, haha, that's funny, swipe. You don't even like the videos on TikTok. At least on Instagram you're liking things,
right? No, it's very good insight, and it people that are listening should pay attention, right? And like YouTube should be a focus. Like I said,
get on it.
That's what this is, guys. This is it. Now
great job.
Thank you. I try so hard.
We were on his first one.
Y'all were, guys.
Well, no, Batman popped his cherry.
Yeah, this is still his first one, though.
Yeah, it's the first episode. It's episode 1. The journey begins. That's what it's called, guys.
That's pretty deep. I like that.
Yeah, ChatGPT came up with that title. Can we be honest? I know.
No, that's how I do half my Instagram captions now.
Yeah, guys, ChatGPT comes in clutch for a lot of stuff these days. I really. Yeah, chef's kiss on that.
Every once in a while, I just can't be bothered. But I usually like give a disclaimer, like this was written by ChatGPT. Please don't call the cops and say Courtney's having, or not the cops. Please don't call an ambulance for the stroke I must be having.
I like that. I like that you at least give the disclaimer. I'm just like, no, I'm taking credit for this.
Well, they're always ridiculous when it's ChatGPT. They're so bad.
You got to work with it, right? You got to tell it like I definitely had a conversation with it today.
Not. I'm not putting any effort into it. That's the point.
No, you got to put some effort so you get good stuff. I definitely had a conversation today where it's like, I need you to tone it down a little.
I had a conversation.
I did, man, back and forth. It's good stuff. You gotta tone it down a little bit. Not quite as excited. Okay, that works. Now add this back in. Yeah, it's good stuff.
When we were at Tableau, there like a Tableau conference earlier this year, they're starting to do some like, but it's all like what is it called? Language
model.
Yeah, it's all like so they were talking about how people were like trying to use it to write papers, and it had like
hallucinations.
What?
Hallucinations.
So when you would do citations, it was a lawyer had used ChatGPT to write like a brief.
Yeah, those are
cited case laws that
weren't real.
Never. Yeah, because it's not.
So they call it hallucinations.
I was like, no,
sorry,
stupid person. What are you talking about?
No, so they call them. So when language learning models make shit up basically, but pretend like it's real, they call it a hallucination. Yeah, it's crazy that it does that though, right? Like it's worrisome. Like it has also no, like if you take something you genuinely wrote and copy and paste it into Chat GPT and say like, did you write this? It will absolutely take credit for it. It's delightful.
And dang, that's scary. I know people are having trouble with it because now, you used to do for like plagiarism, you just plugged in plagiarism, but now they have similar things that are supposed to detect whether it's written by AI, and it's not great. Not 100% reliable because there's no proof, right?
It's hard. And honestly, and this goes back to like what I talk about. If you have a conversation with it and you work with it and it's an iterative process, it's really hard to tell then.
Yeah, I will not be doing that.
That's good stuff, man. Let me tell you.
I'm done with school. I don't need it.
I mean, you can still do it for
graduated
anything.
and now I can use the Chat GPT, I guess. But I don't write like that. Like I don't need
that's fair. I do it even for for this stuff, right? For like the descriptions and stuff like that. Like you can have quick conversations, and if it gives you a tone that you're like, that's a little more chipper than I wanted, or like it's a little more out there, right?
Think about it. When I used to do like test cases and like trials for chickens and stuff, and then that actually probably would have come in handy if I had like put the findings and said, Chat GPT, please explain this to somebody who knows more about chickens than they know about math. Like that would have been really, really helpful. Because that was always a challenge for me. The people who know chickens. They are way more intelligent than I think I originally ever gave them credit for, because they know everything about those animals.
But they don't know the difference between a straight and weighted average.
But they don't know the difference between a straight average and a weighted average. And it is
no one but statisticians do. And you're all monsters.
No. Nobody should be able to graduate high school without knowing the difference between a weighted average and a just regular average.
I literally just had a conversation where I had a student try and present data for a paper that was being published in a major journal. And I looked at it and I said, your box plots don't have any boxes. Can we talk about this? And it turns out it was an N of 2, not an N of 3. And I said, how did you do a t-test on your N of 2 data? And she's like, well, why do I need an N of 3? Okay, so, and this is a person about to get a PhD.
Okay.
3 replicates. I'm sorry.
It's an N equal. Okay.
N equals 3. Yeah. And yeah, this person's about to get a PhD. So people don't understand stats. It doesn't matter.
So, to me, I feel like the average, that's so basic, right? Well, what I would tell people, they'd be like, I want the real average. And I'm like, what you're saying is you have like 5 flocks and they're all different ages and they're all different sizes. So one of those flocks is giving you 100,000 eggs and it has a 80% fertility. And this flock is giving you 1,000 eggs and it has a 60% fertility. Do you want an average of 60 plus 90 divided by 2, or do you want those 100,000 eggs to have more of a weight in your average than those 1,000 eggs? And they're like, I want the real average. Like,
the real average.
Yeah. No, it people don't understand stats. That's just, and
it's infuriating. But Why did I say that? Oh, but like Chat GPT, I feel like maybe when I was writing those types of like
it would be helpful for that. And it's actually, there's now a function where you can upload CSV files into it, and it will you can tell it the data extrapolation you want from it, and it'll spit it out in figures. Oh god, guys, so good. It's good stuff. Yeah, it's getting crazy.
I think AI is going to be kind of like a personal assistant. I think that's I think it's gonna evolve into like like right now I feel like our phones are kind of a personal assistant, but like Siri doesn't. I feel like it's gonna do what they wanted Siri and
I agree
to do.
I mean, that's kind of what we use it for at this point. It definitely helps with repetitive tasks, and in the lab it helps when like students come and ask for basic coding questions. I send them to Chat GPT first, and then
I'm just waiting for Darian to integrate Chat GPT to Morph Markets. That way we can be like, hey, Chat GPT, please respond to this message.
No comment. I would love for Darian to integrate a lot of stuff into Morph Market, but I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. So maybe someday. Maybe someday. All right, guys. It's been 2 hours. I've kept y'all here for way, way, way too long.
I thought we were so still. I thought we were frozen.
We're frozen. This has been great. 10 people have stuck around. Thank you, guys. This is going to go on YouTube. It's the first one. From my standpoint, it will only get better. The guests were great from day one, so thank y'all.
Excuse you.
Yeah, no, I said the guests were great.
This.
I'm gonna get better personally. The guests, though, were crushing it. So don't get sassy with me. God.
So you're gonna have us back on every week. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. We can do that. I do want to say one thing I really appreciate about Courtney is regularly on the Chris Eaton Zoom calls, she'll be wearing a shirt and then scurry away at a speed that no human should be able to scurry at, and come back with a new shirt on. And it always makes me laugh.
Steven, so what it is Steven's usually in the background, like, go put on the Chimera shirt. Go put on this donut. It's Steven. He thinks it's hilarious. And I like him to think I'm funny. So
I like it. I love it so much. Yeah, it's good stuff. So I think I'm supposed to end this with how can people follow you?
Leviathan Snakes on Instagram, Leviathan Snakes on YouTube. We have a TikTok, but I don't know.
I post there sometimes.
Okay.
And they're mildly snake related.
Mildly snake related.
Well,
okay,
like,
good.
The TikTok is just my TikTok, and I try to be kind of
fair enough. No one will follow you on there now.
I'm almost 30.
But we have like a single banana on.
I'm sorry. Did you just say you're almost 30? Shut up. I can't even deal with you. I feel like an old fuck. It's fine.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
You look
oh.
it.
That's not that bad. Like,
I'm just kidding.
Wow, that's so mean. You know what? No one follow them on anything. How does that sound?
Yeah, maybe get a little less hostile of a guest next time.
Nah, this is perfect. Okay, I have both of those links. Fortunately, they will be in the description, guys. Go slam them, click them, follow them, do whatever you're supposed to. Yeah, slam them. Slam the like button. There we go. And then our Chimera's links will also be down in the description. And then if you're listening to this and not a member of the Discord, go join the Chimera Tree of Trust. And we have a good time in there, I think. And if we don't have a good time, well, that's on you, because we're fun.
Yeah,
anyway,
make it.
Yeah, right. So, all right, guys, thanks again. If you want to stick around for half a second, I'm going to kick y'all. Well, I'm just going to end the stream. I don't have to kick y'all out. It's fine. Farewell, everyone. I'm ending the stream. I will see y'all next week.